Hi guys, Amazon's big deal days are upon us, October 7th and 8th. A lot of other retailers are following suit, so I will list the links down below, the best deals that I can find. I will also categorize these links so they are easier to work through. I got up super early this morning, 3 a.m. Can you tell by my disheveled appearance? I wanted to comb through all of these great deals because there are plenty, so let's get into it. Let's start with some Sony APS-C cameras first. The camera that you are looking at right now, the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, is $100 off. I think this is the best value going when it comes to an APS-C camera that can shoot 10-bit 422. Really love the ZV-E10 Mark II. It is my main studio camera. But my other studio camera, my workhorse of a camera, my FX30, is also on sale. That is the second angle right there. I keep them as my second angle because if I ever have to leave the studio, I grab the FX30. So reliable with that fan, the 2 card slots, 10-bit, 422, 4K, 120. Love the FX30. That is actually $300 off. And for you bargain hunters who want an excellent image, especially when it comes to video, the ZV-E10 Original Little Dougie is $100 off, so he is now $698 without a lens, and I think that is the best way to start your content creation. I still say it, I've always said it, love the original ZV-E10. The A6400 is also on sale. That is now $998, a fantastic hybrid camera that won't break the bank. It is from the previous generation, so it's missing some of the bells and whistles of the newer cameras, but still a fantastic camera today in 2025. Moving on to Sony full frame, the biggest discount is the A7 IV. It is $500 off, so you can get that now for $21.98, which I think is a much more reasonable price for the A7 IV. In this new world, the price did go up on all of the Sony gear and all of the camera gear across the board, every brand. So with $500 off, it makes the A7 IV a much more attractive price, in my opinion, and it is still an amazing camera, arguably the best hybrid camera still going today, $21.98. However, the A7C II is $200 off. That has the updated autofocus system and the AI chip. It has dynamic active stabilization. The A7 IV doesn't have that. It only has 1 card slot and its EVF is not quite as nice. So I prefer the A7 IV when it comes to photo, but when it comes to video, I prefer the A7C II. The A7R5, which is this guy right here, my main photo camera, this is $400 off. So if you had your eye on an A7R5, and who hasn't? I absolutely love this thing. You got the tilty flippy screen. It can shoot 8K. Love this camera, and this one is $400 off. Now, if you still want the sensor of this camera, the 60 megapixel bad boy sensor, but you want a smaller carry body and you don't mind losing the 8K video, the A7CR is $200 off. The ZV-E1 is $300 off, $21.98 to get that FX3, FX6 sensor in a compact little body, dynamic active stabilization, an absolutely wonderful camera. I use it for all of my 4K 120 B-roll in full frame. I use it for vlogging. I use it for travel. I take it wherever I am going. I love this ZV-E1. If this broke tomorrow, I would buy another one instantly. The A7 III and the A7C are both down to $15.98. So with the A7 III, they say that's $300 off. The A7C, they say it's $100 off. But I think the A7 III is a fantastic photo camera if you want to get into professional photos with those 2 card slots, that great autofocus system. It's an okay video camera, but it doesn't have a fully articulating screen, and it does have a time limit when it comes to its 4K recording. So if you're more video focused, the A7C makes more sense because there's no 29-minute record limit and you have the fully articulating screen. It also records gyro data so you can stabilize in Catalyst Browse or GyroFlow, which I think has been very helpful, certainly for me. Talking about APS-C lenses, Sony is putting their trio of APS-C lenses on sale. The 11mm 1.8 is $50 off. That is the best vlogging lens, in my opinion, for the Sony system when it comes down to quality. It is just a little bit pricier than some other options, but I love the Sony 11mm 1.8. The Sony 15 1.4, that is the lens you are looking at right now on my ZV-E10 Mark II, my most used lens here in the studio because it is my main studio lens. Great for talking head, in my opinion. That is $100 off, and the 10 to 20 f4, which would be great for landscape photographers or people running on a gimbal, as long as there's some decent light. That 10 to 20 is extremely versatile. That one is $100 off as well. If you're looking for an alternative to the Sony 11, the Yongnuo 11 f1.8 is $268. So much cheaper than the Sony lens, but almost as good. I really love that Yongnuo. So if you're looking for an 11 on a budget, $268 for the Yongnuo. And speaking of budget, Viltrox has put their already excellent value lenses on sale today. Most of them are 20% off. A 15mm Air series lens, so that could be definitely an alternative to this Sony 15. And that is $191, less than a quarter of the price of the Sony 15. Right now I'm shooting at f2, so 1.7 versus 1.4 wouldn't affect me right now in this situation. So the Viltrox Air 15mm is an excellent studio lens or interview lens. Look at how small and compact the Viltrox Air series is. Some of the lens vary by a few millimeters, but overall they all look like this. They are this size, this weight, tiny little lightweight lenses, just a plastic build, no bells, no whistles, but all value. So not only do they have the 15mm APS-C on sale, they have the 25mm, 35mm, and 56mm, and those three lenses are $140 USD right now. I think that is fantastic. If you're looking for any of those focal lengths, you can't go wrong with these Viltrox Air series, especially at those prices. But like I said, it's pretty much all of the Viltrox lenses that are on sale. This one's on sale here too, as well. The 75mm Pro f1.2, overall my favorite APS-C lens when it comes to portraits. Absolutely love this thing. It's an f1.2. It's certainly a lot bigger than some of the other APS-C lenses, even comparing it to Viltrox themselves, the Air series versus the Pro series. But sometimes that 1.2 is worth it. Love that 75mm. Gives you about a full frame 112.5mm 1.8 field of view. So crazy, creamy backgrounds with this guy. The other Pro lenses are on sale as well. The 27mm f1.2, which is a great studio lens. I use that lens for all my YouTube shorts and my Instagram reels. And the 56mm 1.2 if you want a more traditional portrait length, which is closer to an 85mm full frame. That 1.2 is also 20% off. Fantastic. When it comes to value, Makey says, hold on there, Viltrox. You're not the only game in town. I am absolutely loving what the Makey company is doing right now with their lenses. They feel fantastic to use. The autofocus is so snappy and they are so affordable. I love these things. The APS-C line, the 33mm and the 55mm f1.4 are on sale for, what is it? $183. $183 for a 1.4 APS-C lens, 55, which is great for portraits, 33, which is great for general shooting. You can use the 33 on an APS-C for video, but you do have to back up the camera about 20 feet from you. It's still a great walk-around travel lens. I love a 33 on an APS-C for something like photography, travel photography. It's really great for that. And again, the 55, more for those head and shoulders portrait shots. So $183, and depending on what country you are watching this in, it could be even cheaper relative to other lenses. A bunch of Sony lenses are $100 off, including some G Master lenses. This one right here is the G lens. This is the 16 to 25. Overall, one of my most used full frame lenses, and I really like this thing. Small and compact, does a great job. This is $100 off. The 20mm that I have here on the A7R5, that's $100 off. So go through the list of Sony lenses, look for the focal length you are looking for, and you might get $100 off. But if you want some stellar glass at some stellar prices, then I've got a bunch of lenses to talk about. Of course, we will start with Viltrox. This Lab series, it is their G Master. The G Master of Viltrox is Lab. It is their flagship series. And while these are bigger and heavier lenses, they are worth it, in my opinion, when you see the image quality. This 135 f1.8 will just blow you away. It is crazy how good this lens is. A lot of portrait photographers photographers love a 135 f1.8 because it just obliterates the background. Cream corn back there. This thing so sharp. Autofocus is great. It is down to $719, 20% off right now. $719 for this lens, I think, is a steal. Viltrox also has the 35mm f1.2 lab series on sale. 20% off, $799 now for a 35mm 1.2. Now, I probably wouldn't take this around all day when it comes to shooting photos. It's a bit of a bigger and heavier lens. I'd like a smaller 35 for that, but when it comes to video, f1.2 low light monster, bokeh beast right here. Set that up on a tripod, shoot all day. $799 for one of the best 35s you could possibly buy. So after the Lab series comes the Pro series, sort of like the way Sony does G, M, and G lenses. These are the G lenses for Viltrox. They have an 85mm f1.4, which is just an excellent portrait lens. That is 20% off at $478. So if you wanted to go do some pro portraits, that 85 1.4 can certainly get the job done. That is just a great value. If you need a wide-angle full-frame lens, I recommend the Viltrox 16mm f1.8. 1.8, 16mm, great lens. Back to Viltrox's ultimate value series, the Air series. Some of the full-frame Air lenses are on sale. The 20mm f2.8, the lens that started off the entire Air series, that is $140. Full frame, 20mm 2.8, $140. The 40mm f2.5 is $134 US. And the 50mm f2 is $159. So to me, the value speaks for itself. But if you want to check out all of my reviews on those lenses, you can go ahead. But just believe me when I say they punch so far above their price point that it is crazy. But once again, the Makey company says, you want some value, Viltrox? Here is some value. Some full frame Makey lenses that are absolutely excellent. This 85mm f1.4, it is a little bit of a bigger and heavier lens, but I compared this to the 85mm f1.4 G Master version 2, and this lens was arguably sharper. When I did my tests, it seemed like it was sharper than that G Master. It is a fantastic lens, and its price is a crazy $375. So you have an 85mm f1.4, $375. Now, its autofocus is not quite as fast as the Viltrox 85 1.4, and the build quality is not as good. It's a bit of a bigger and heavier lens without that premium finish, but the Viltrox is $100 more. Now, if you want an 85mm and you don't mind having a 1.8 instead of a 1.4, check this out right here. This Makey 85 1.8, let me get the price exactly right, is $271. So you just get an excellent portrait lens for $271, full frame. Love what Makey is doing right now. Makey also has a 35mm f2 for $159. So if you want a great studio lens, great interviews, talking heads, documentaries, f2 is plenty bright, and it's $159. Depending on your country, it might even be cheaper, relatively speaking. So this is a great bargain. Now, if you want a slightly upgraded version of this from the Makey company, they have a 35mm f1.8 Pro lens. I just did a video on that lens, and it is excellent. $303 for a pro level lens. Can keep up with 8K footage, just looks super sharp. The autofocus is impeccable. Love that 35 1.8. So if you want the best Makey has to offer at 35 1.8, get that. If you want an f2, that is a really great bargain. $159 for this 35. Some excellent deals on wireless microphones. In fact, this is the best sale I have ever seen for wireless microphones. The Hollyland Lark M2, overall, this is the most popular mic that has ever been on my channel. Most people, this turns into their favorite little mic because this little tiny button mic there. This just clips to your shirt. You can't even feel it. I like to reverse it under my shirt so it's even more discreet. This is on for $83. I can't believe that price. They just want everyone to own one, I guess, because these things have always sold like hotcakes, and now at $83, just bananas. I'm thinking about getting a second set just to have it. So that's the Hollyland Lark M2, but if you prefer the little M2S, that's the one here that has the little teardrop shape. So you clip that to your shirt and then it won't fall off if you're doing vigorous activity. Some people prefer the clip-on, and this thing is $91. I was very surprised to see DJI putting their little mic mini on sale for $99. I think that is a great deal on the mic mini, especially if you have DJI products and you want to connect wirelessly to your DJI products. And seeing how the action cams and the Osmo Pocket 3 are on good sales, then this might be the way to go for you. I will talk about those a little bit later in the video. Another great little mic that's really innovative is the Boya Magic Mic. You can use it as a shotgun. You can also take out these tiny little transmitters and use those on your person. You can use it as a desktop microphone. So many ways to use it. The sound quality is great and it is $103. Shockingly, the Hollyland Lark Max 2 is on sale. This hasn't been out very long and it's on sale for $223. So when I reviewed the DJI Mic 3, a lot of people were saying their preference was the Hollyland Lark Max 2 with all of its features, and I don't really blame them. And at $223, 100%, this is the way to go. The full kit has absolutely everything you could ask for. 2 tiny little transmitters that record 32-bit float internally. You can also connect a 3.5 millimeter lavalier to them. You can't do that with the DJI Mic 3. You can monitor your audio wirelessly with these little earpieces right here. They connect right away to the Lark Max 2. You have lavaliers, you have wind muffs, you have magnets, you have clips, you have everything you could possibly want. These things are an exceptional value. With tripods, my 2 all-time favorites are on sale, 20% off the Falcam Tree Root. So instead of $4.99, now you can get this for $3.99. In my opinion, worth every penny. I love this thing, but if you want a lighter version of the Tree Root Lite is also 20% off. I think you can get that for $239 right now. And I believe for $199, you can get this lightweight Mama Jamma. This is Ulanzi. They are the sister company to Falcam. They work together very closely, and this thing is just the ultimate travel tripod. I have been using this for years. I absolutely love it. Now, if you want a heavy-duty tripod to put a big setup on when it comes to video, you've got a big box camera, you've got some monitors, things like that, the SmallRig AD01 I think is the best deal. That's $111 for a really heavy-duty video tripod. In fact, I would encourage you to check out SmallRig in general today and tomorrow the 7th and the 8th. They are having a massive sale. So if you want a half cage or a full cage or some lights, whatever SmallRig sells, they're having a pretty big sale on almost everything as far as I can see. Another company doing the same thing is Neewer. If you are looking for some flat panel lights, you want some C-stands, you want some clamps, you want some clips, you want some cages, Neewer is having really great deals. With backpacks, you're not going to believe what my favorite backpack costs right now, $83. That doesn't make any sense. I take this everywhere. It's my most used backpack. I love it. It's from Ulanzi, the BP09. All of Ulanzi's backpacks are on sale. Ulanzi is, of course, having a big sale. Ulanzi loves sales. So this one, $83 right now. And for my smaller everyday carry, I have this sling, or if I'm going on a plane, I love this thing. This is, what is it, $39? $39 right now, USD. I've been using the crap out of this. Fantastic little bag. Those are the 2 bags that I carry on a daily basis. Don't forget about your media as well, SD cards and SSDs. I like to edit off these ones right here, the Samsung SSD T7, super fast, $109 for 2 terabytes. I have been using the Samsung T7 for years, 0 failure, absolutely blazing fast. I love these things. I take them wherever I go to edit. These are my main drives for editing, so I can switch computers, and then I have everything right here. For SD cards, I like the Sony Tough cards because I find they don't fall apart after a couple of years of heavy use, so I would recommend the Sony Tough cards. When it comes to the CF Express A cards, I would probably go with per gear because those are already tough little cards, and the per gear cards are just as fast as the Sony, but much, much cheaper. I said I'd mention action cams, the X5, the X4, the X3, the 360 cams from Insta. I use these all the time for behind the scenes. Really like it because you can just set it up as a backup. Here, I'll put on my 360 camera, press record, and no matter what happens during the day, you have all of the footage captured around you. I love a 360 cam. The DJI 360 cam is also on a big sale today, which is a surprise because that just came out, but I guess they're trying to compete with the Insta 360 sale. And Insta 360, their Ace Pro 2 is on sale, as well as DJI's Action 5 and Action 4. And happily, the Osmo Pocket 3 is down to $645. With this new world and the new pricing, the Osmo Pocket 3 became very expensive, and a lot of people just stopped the idea of buying that. But today, you can get a really good discount, and it is down to $645, which I think is a much more reasonable price for a camera like that. So if you notice any really good deals that I haven't talked about, write them in the comments below so that we can all see them. I will add them to my links and give you no credit whatsoever. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.